Hi everyone, Annie Mora here, and I'm a decorative painter. And I like playing around with some tags um, with the mixed media. It's really fun to do. I have other ones that I've done. I don't know where I put them. Oh, right here. I have like little roses, and I use some stencils and some decoupage. A flower stamp with some more stencils. Here's just the stamp. I have a YouTube video on this one here, and some stamps again, and I think a stencil. So I thought I'd show you this little card that I did yesterday, and these are done on their chipboard tags. And I got this at Michael's. There's 7 by 3.5. If you can't find any, you can always get a piece of cardboard from the back of any palette paper pads. Keep these in handy. They're thick enough. They're about the same size. You just need to cut them out, and then you'd have yourself a tag. Okay, the products that we're going to use today is DecoArt matte medium. I got DecoArt fluid media acrylics. I'm going to be using some not too many brushes. These are the 4 brushes that I use for this project by Dynasty. They're black gold and a Palmer brush. The stamp that I'm going to be using is from Whimsy Stamps. There's a bunch of little words on here, and I just love this monarch butterfly. And we also use it was a bag, and I got these from Tracy Morrow's website. You can, I think she still has some available. You can grab them there. I cut it out, and I put it on my little tag here. So let's start. What I'm going to do is measure right here. I need to measure a little above because it's got the fold of the bag on here. So I'm just going to, what I'll do is I'll trace it out, and then we can just cut it out. I don't want to like go too close to the edge because we'll sand it once we glue it. Let's just cut this out. And then keep saving the paper, and you can do another project. I think I'm good to make 3 tags out of this paper. Okay, here's my paper. Okay, now let's apply. I have the Traditions matte medium, and I like using the Palmer brush when I apply any type of glue or any sealer. I always like using this brush. Now, make sure you apply a lot, like especially around your edges. Make sure you got lots around your edges, okay? And sometimes you'll get the glue dry gunks. Just take those off. Make sure you got a lot along the edge here. Okay. Okay, I've watched a lot of Tracy's videos, and she likes wetting her paper in the back a little bit so that way you don't get wrinkles. So I'm just going to spray a little bit of water on it. And then I'm going to apply this to my tag. Okay, now take your roller and just roll it over top just so that it releases any air bubbles. And this crease will eventually go down a little bit too. Okay, make sure you got them along the edge. Okay. Yeah, looks pretty good. I want that glue to go over. Okay. Now let's apply some on the top. This will protect my paper when I'm going to apply some paint over top of it. Have a nice shine to it. Well, it's actually matte, it's not shine. Okay, I'm going to put this in my water. We're done with this. Let's take out the little blow dryer. And I think I'm going to wipe a little bit off my mat here. Okay, now let's dry this up. Have a shine from my light. Let me just put this up just a little bit. Okay, I don't want to. It's a glare. So there's obviously no pattern to this project because it's all stamps and stencils. So no pattern. I'll have all the supplies listed on the description of the YouTube video and where I got it. This does take a little bit too long time to dry, because you want to make sure it goes all the way. A little bit sticky. Okay. Now, you can just wipe a little bit of this glue off. I'm going to sand the paper along the edge here. So I used a sandy block. You can use sandpaper. So just rough up your edge there and the paper will come apart like that. Sometimes it's always good to do like a couple at a time. That way you'd have some dry and prep for future tags. This feels really good. Way around, take all the excess paper off. There, it's really easy. Okay, some of this little paper, garbage. Alrighty. Now let's add some color to our paper and our tag. Okay, and the colors that I used to start. Okay, put them in order. I used green gold. So if I move this a little bit, I'll put my little palette paper here. A little bit more. Okay, I have again green gold. I have blue green light. Okay. And you don't need a whole lot. I used Hansa yellow medium. And I used a Pyrrole orange. Okay. So for this step, I used a 1/2 inch flat wash brush. Okay, I'm going to apply it on here. And I got a little bit of some sandpaper dust on here. Make sure it's clean. Okay, I'm going to spray it a little bit with water, just so I can have some water so that the paint can mix up a little bit. I like mine like wet, but not like a whole lot of puddle though. Just put this up. Okay, I'm gonna wet my brush. Okay, wet my brush, and now I want this like a little bit watered down a little bit, and I'm gonna apply it a little bit on the right side here. Keeping my brush dirty, I picked up some of the blue-green light, and I'm going to go to this side here and just slap it on. It doesn't have to be perfect. I want these colors to be mixed together. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to pick up some yellow. I'm going to put some yellow here. Mix those two colors together. And then I'm going to pick up some orange. And I'm going to put some down here. And I'm going to wet it a little bit because I want it more watery. I want it so that it fades. A little darker around the edge, that's fine. So I can pick up a little bit more yellow if I found it too much orange. Okay. I like that just the way it is. So let's dry that off. Because I added water, it's going to take a while to dry. See the green kind of blended in with the orange. I mean the yellow. Now, if I wanted more orange on this side there, I would, just add a little bit more, whichever way you want your tag to look like. A little bit wet right there. Then you can just, by the touch of it, you can tell if it's like dry or needs to be dry a little bit more, but I think mine's pretty, there's no glare, so I'm pretty sure it's dry. I am gonna wipe this little section here. Okay. For the next step, I use burnt umber, and that's to go around the edge here. Okay, and I like using this dauber. It's a large dauber, and you use this dry. So what I do is I have my little dab here. I'm going to pick some up, but make sure like you blend it all over on your little sponge here. And what I do is I like going along the edge and going towards a little bit to the center to fade out your color. You can pick up some more if you need to. Keep doing that. Okay, along the edge. You can make the edge darker too by going over it. Okay, now let's go back around, make it a little darker. Pick up some more brown here. Just keep going in circles. You don't need to add a lot of pressure, just you know, a little bit there. Okay, now let's pick up. I'm gonna keep my little sponge dauber dirty, and I'm gonna pick up some Payne's Gray to make it darker. It almost looks black. Okay, same thing. I'm gonna pick it up with the dab here and blend it. And because it's so dark, you don't go too hard with it. And you can also dab for the corners. I'm going to go back and fix that. So just dab around the corners. And you don't need a whole lot. It really builds up fast, the Payne's Gray. Okay, if I like right over here, I can add a little bit more just by dabbing the little corners there. Okay, and then I picked it up and go along your edge here with Payne's Gray. Pick it up by the center where it's dry. Go all along your edge. There. Okay, and how I clean this, I'm going to first clean this here. I always use this type of mat when I'm doing mixed media. It's way easier to clean. Okay, I clean my little sponge dauber. I take baby wipes and I'll place it here, and what I do is I keep wiping on it till it cleans it off. Turn it around. That should be good. Yeah. Alrighty. Okay, and I didn't wear my, need to wear my apron when I do this too. 1 second. Okay, now we're gonna let that dry, and we're gonna move on to our butterfly. And I stamped this with, okay, so I used a big Monarch stamp, and I used the Archival Ranger ink for this. Okay, and the colors that we're going to use is Pyrrole Orange. We're going to use the Hansa Yellow Medium, and we're going to use Naphthol Red Light. I already have some of my my orange and my yellow on my palette from the beginning. I'm just going to put my other color on here. And you need, I like using angle brushes. This is a 3/8 angle brush. You can use a flat shader if you want, whatever you're comfy with. Okay, now for the tips here, I picked up the yellow, okay? And you're gonna pick up like if you're floating, okay? And it's messy, it's not perfect. keep going to the top, the tips here. Okay. And you can pick up some more if you want. Right here, blend it. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up orange, the pyrrole orange. Okay, so I picked it up with the toe and right here, and I'm going to blend my palette. And now I'm going to do like the bottom part. Oops, I went over my yellow. It's messy, and just walk it out, or walk it up, I should say. Okay, turn this around. Down. Okay, and what's nice about this, say I had my yellow's not bright enough, I want more yellow, go back with your yellow and apply another layer like over here. Make it join with the orange. Okay, and then once the orange dries, we can go back with more orange. Now for the bottom ones, I used the pyrrole orange. Load your brush, and I did the tips on these ones. All the tips. Oh, and this one too. Let's pick up some more. And there is a lot of water in my brush. Okay, and then I want to pick up the Naphthol red light. Okay, I have it over here. So pick it up with your toe, blend on your palette. And now I want to do the bottom part. A little too much water. And that one right there. Something there. Okay, redo this one. So you're just applying a messy float and you're blending your two colors till your two colors meet. And when it dries, it'll be much brighter. I want to add another layer of orange on where my yellow is. Okay, so right here, I need this needs to be a little bit brighter. Okay, this one here. There. More here. Okay. Now I used titanium white. A little bit of that on my palette here. Oops. Okay, and while I have my white out, we're gonna speck some white on the tag. So let's just move that aside for 1 second. Okay, let's wet, I don't know, a little liner brush. We're gonna water this down with some water, and then just take another brush, just dab it. This one will probably have a lot of specks on it. And what I like doing is taking a paper towel, just dab some of those specks so that they're not so, they look like watered, smudged. which I like. Okay, I only need a little bit, so let's put that back. Okay, back to the tag. I only did that so I didn't forget that. Actually, okay, let's grab some white. So what I did was I took some, this is a 0 round, or you can use a liner, and I dabbed some paint in on my bristles, and I just went over these little white spots. Keep applying. And what I do want to do before I forget, okay, I'm just going to stop right there because I just realized on here I want to use some modeling paste, and that takes a while to dry. So I want to do that first while we work on a butterfly. I just realized that. I use some Tradition white modeling paste. Take my little Ziploc bag out. Okay, and the stencil that I use, I got this on Amazon, but wherever craft store has the TCW stencils, and it's for mixed media scrapbooking. And so these are mini specimens. I'll put this on my link, and has the website where you can get them too. Okay, and I like this stamp because there was like it looked like hour clocks or compass, I mean, and then water drops, another type, and then you had your little butterfly, so you can use whatever you want. I use this huge one on the top part, and you do need a palette knife. Okay, and just pick some up. Oh, I don't need that much. And spread it along the design here. Okay, and lift it up. And then I use this little one. I actually flipped it over, making sure that I don't get that part on my design. I used the little tiny one by the butterflies on the bottom part. Without touching the butterflies. Okay, and then I used this spot here. This one here with the little, they look like a saucer, you know, when you get a stain from your cup. That's what that looks like. So let's put that in the edge here, right on the side. I'm gonna try not to touch my other one at the corner there. So that's all I wanted. I'm gonna put that back in there, my jar. Okay, I'm gonna move this. And we do need to clean the stencil off right away so that it doesn't stick to it. Okay, so just gently. You gotta try, be careful when you're wiping stencils because they got such little details on it. You don't want to bend them or like that there. Just dab the paste off of it. Okay, and make sure you wipe your palette knife off right away too, so that doesn't stick to your palette knife. Okay, let's wipe this off. Okay, now we can move on to our butterfly again. Butterfly. Okay, now let's go back to the liner and dabbing some white on here. Okay, You can tell, I think the paper that I used, this tag here, let's tell you, they're distress tags. So these are 6 1/4 by 3 1/4. They're good for stamping on them. They're like, and then you can just cut it out after. It's a nice thickness too. It's not too flimsy. I also added some extra dots using a stylus. So over here, I just added a couple little extra ones, but I think I can do it with my little liner or my round brush. Just add a couple extra little dots where you want to. Okay, now on this side here, always make sure that you don't put your hand on the wet paint. Those were like dots of twos, they're like pairs. Okay, if I wanted to, can I add a couple of little extra ones here? Okay, now let's add a little float. Added a little float in the middle of the body there with some little lines using white. So you only need a little tiny float here. And then for the lines, I just took the tip of my angle brush and just dabbed some lines all the way down the tail. Okay, we can dry that off so that we can cut around it. This paint doesn't take very long to dry. Okay. I like using these little scrapbook scissors for this step. Cuts really well. So just cut all the way around. Now you don't have to use monarch butterflies. You can use other butterflies too, whatever you have. But I just like the monarch butterfly because they're big and colorful. I did do around the antenna. I was very careful to go around the antenna. A little tricky. And be careful with the scissors because they're very, very sharp. I cut my finger the other night doing this. And I think I just cut my antenna. We'll fix it when I glue it. Yeah, I cut it, but it's okay. Oh, I'll glue it on. No biggie. If you don't want to cut around the antenna, you can just paint them on too. Because it is hard. Actually, I might just paint it on. Let's just paint it on. It's not going to work tonight. I'm going to cut around its head. And don't worry if you see white along the edge there of the butterfly, because you I add paint around it with the Payne's black, Payne's gray, I mean, and you won't even tell you had a tag on it. We're almost done. Here we go. Okay. So what I did was I took my little liner. I picked up some Payne's gray. Oops. Oh, I didn't mean to go on it. I went too fast. Just go along the little edge here. Don't pick up a whole lot, just a little bit at a time. Whoops, I'm not even under the camera to show you. Just keep rubbing the little bristles along the edge there. And you won't even see the tag color. Oh, I had some glue on my finger. I'll add some more yellow to it in a second. Just touch it by the edge. Okay. Let me fix. I can see a little bit more white here. Okay, let me touch up my yellow. Guess we should. Tip is to make sure your fingers are clean when you're touching your painted item. Okay, let's push that aside. Let's dry this up a little bit there. Make sure this paste is dry. Just wipe off along the edge. It's not going to be like, it looks white, but when it dries, it's almost like clear almost. Never thought I should have just did that part at the beginning. It's actually not bad. As long as I don't push hard on it, it should be all right. Okay. What I'm gonna do is take my little brush back out of my water. Now we're gonna glue our butterfly to the tag. And I just want to wipe my brush off a little bit. Okay, I need this matte medium again. We're going to glue our butterfly. Okay, so apply a lot to the back. Okay. Other side. Just going to put this down. Now put it where you want it. My hole is right there. We're going to dab that in a second. So I'm going to put mine right here. Okay, and push down on it. She might have to put some in here just to make it a little thicker. The way it'll stick better. The glue come out. And I'm going to put some on the top. There. Go along the edge so you don't have the big thick lines there. And I'm not going to try not to play too much where we put the modeling paste. There, like this. And then we'll put our antenna afterwards when it's all dry. Okay. Now, on this stamp set, there's different words. There's smile, wishes, friend, happy, hope. And I stamped them. I put hope, wishes, happy, and smile on just a little white tag. And you can pick whatever words you want. I had 3 because when I put this little rope on, I only had enough for 3. You can bring it down a little bit more if you want. If you want to put all 4 words on it. What I did was I took this and ripped it. Whoops. I want to rip my word hope there. Let's just break it off. You can rip this a little bit, make it smaller. Take off any excess. I like the word smile. It's kind of meaningful what's going on today. You want to have hope, smile, keep smiling, and be happy with what you have. I'm happy that I have my hubby to keep me company. I can see my kids. Okay. We can put, let's see, I need my rope will go about here. Smile, happy. I can put wishes, or I can put, yeah. Okay, let me just try this again. I want hope up here. I went a little off on my word. Yeah, I'm only going to put room for 3. Okay, I have room for 3. Well, that's good. Now, let's take this off. Let's apply some along the edge here. The first word that I picked was hope. I really pushed down on it. Smile. Happy. Keep pushing down on it. Okay, and then put some on top of it, big blobs. Okay, just tap it down. Okay, and let's dry that off. Okay, put that back in my water. And just, if you have too much over the edge, just wipe it down so it doesn't stick to your lid or dry in your lid. Okay, wipe my fingers. More paper. Okay, let's dry that off. It does take a while to dry. The butterfly is not too bad. Because, you know, you're putting it on pretty thick, so. Okay. All right. I made it a little dirty by like so it's not so white. I used the burnt umber. I need to put a little bit more on my palette. Okay, and just pick it up a little bit by the toe and blend on your palette. Okay, and what I did was the top part, just and then the bottom. Messy. It's not perfect. It's what's nice about mixed media. It's not perfect. Choppy. And then I went underneath the butterfly and my little words there. So with the same color, okay. Just go around, oops, a little too much water. On the edge. And then I'll do that with my little tag here. Let's put our antenna in. Our little... So I don't have black down here with me. I'm just going to use the Payne's Gray. Put a little dab there. Okay, I'm going to start here. Apply a thick line and then just go straight down. Might need a couple of little coats there because it's a little not as dark. And then here, just push down on it and then work to the end there. They're not as long, but that's okay. And then once this dries, we're gonna take Uniball black ink. You can do messy little lines around the words there on top of the white. So go around twice. Again, it's not straight lines, and it's like if I went around it a couple of times. There. I love it. And key. Now, for the rope that goes around it, you can use they're little twine ropes, or you can use, I got something else I can show you. I have a box here. It's filled with all kinds of colored twines. Blue, there's white. I can use white. Yeah, I can use white. Also brown, so I have more different types of twine. Let's try with white, see how that goes. A collection of it. And my start is around here somewhere. Okay, and I leave a little end here so I can tie it. And go around it a couple times. Whoops. I'm gonna do a couple of this. Okay. So hold it. And then just go around it a couple times, not straight. That's good. And then tie a knot. Okay, and I left a little long enough to look like it's a not quite a bow, but a knot. Yeah, the white's not bad. Like it. Okay, for here, just take stylus, and would I look for the hole and then just go around it like that with your stylus. Okay, and then I like using little washers. They're I think these were a quarter or a little bit bigger than a quarter. I have it in here somewhere. And I used some twine from the dollar store. So this time I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger. I'm going to put that through. Put your little washer on here. And I want to make sure my rop's long enough this time. Okay. Even if you have to cut some off, it's okay. There, put that tight. Now I have these also, different variety of beads. If you want to paint them, you can. These are already like painted or stained, something like that. Okay, now there's squares. I used rounds, but these little squares. Yeah, you got to make sure that you're using like big enough holes so you can put the 2 strings through it. So if I put this, if not, you know what you can do without breaking your I don't know if it'll work. But maybe you can stretch. You can't stretch the hole. But if I can put one through at a time, through here, and then try the other one. I don't know if this one will work. The hole really has to be big. Here's one. There, this one's good. You put both of them through. Okay, now let me look for another one. And I'm just going to cut this off so that it's thinner. I don't know. Might have to cut this one too, just so that it's thin when you're cutting it to make it go through. And then I'm just going to try twisting it and see if they go up together. Sometimes that'll work. There we go. Okay, now we got 2. Then I tie a knot to however length that you want. Right here, that's good. A little shorter. And then I'll put one more. And actually, this one's fine. Good. These 3 together. Then when you get to the knot here, you're gonna just tie another one here. Okay, and then cut however length that you want. I did tell you that if you wanted to, I don't normally put this on my tag because sometimes the what do you call that? The sometimes the matte medium protects your tags there when you're gluing the stuff on it, but if you don't like for instance, if it's just stamps, seal it with this ultra matte varnish. You can still do it on here. It's so flat you won't even know that it's there. Okay, and that concludes my little project of tags. I really hope you like this. I look forward to making some more. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the little bell, you get all the notifications of new videos. And see you next time. Thanks.